Welcome everyone to another episode of the Train Studio. I'm your host, Sean Morris. Tonight on the Train Studio, to be honest, I haven't been in the shop much today. I kind of had a late night last night and was a little bit under the weather today, so I really didn't get into studio till late this afternoon, kind of supper time-ish. So trying to make up for lost time, so hence no videos because not much work was being done. But I have done a little bit, and I'll explain to you what I've done and where I'm going next. So just move the diagram over here. Obviously you can see that most of the stuff is still removable. It's not glued in by any means, so this wall is also still removable. So the plan is to hit the moss on this tonight and do the moss on this section of the bridge, which is there. So most of that's been done. You kind of seen the sample piece, but I also did this piece as well. I decided to go with a two-tone moss instead of just the the single green, but I'll show you what that looks like. It's pretty subtle, but you can kind of see it's got a little bit of an olive hue in there as well. So just a little bit around there, and then kind of up on the bridge and in the other sections as well. You know, some parts I'm just leaving that green sort of coloration, and some parts I'm actually adding the moss in. So that's that. Over here, last night, if you've seen on the update, I finished the rocks. That's all been secured and glued down. And then really the main thing I was working on last night was this sort of section in here. And I was laying in the root system and having them kind of crawl over the rocks. So that those trees are now secure, and they are not moving anywhere. And then over here, you know, I just extended that root system down into the ground, and I'm just waiting for this this damp earth enamel, aka interactive stuff to dry up, and that'll keep the coloration over here pretty consistent. So basically, this is ready for the tufts to go down. And I secured this rock in here, and then another couple of the rock chips here. I was really curious about what to do about this place right here, because it does give kind of a nice window into viewing that section, but at the same time it's a little bit open, a little bit maybe too open, and I wanted to have some balance with the height of the rest of the table. So what I decided to do there was put in a dead tree. And so I was just working on the colors for this, and I've never painted a dead tree, and nor do I really know what. I mean, I suppose they're trees, so there's lots of variation, but this is kind of what I went with here. It's a little bit hard to see some contrast, but it's got some of the browns still visible, but mostly it's kind of gray and turning, you know, kind of a very dull color. And I'm hoping that that'll kind of signify, you know, a lack of life. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and secure that kind of right in there, and then still really leave that more or less visible from this sort of angle here. And I want to have a spot maybe to kind of hide in the Piat team. So that's going to go right there to kind of balance out that. I think it makes sense, you know, the trees are kind of up on these high points. So that's just drying up. And what else was the other plan? So I talked about the moss. You guys have seen the road. I did the debris up on the bridge. I'm not sure if you guys saw that last night or not, but sort of that's, you know, the blast marks, and then that's sort of extended up onto the bridge. And likewise, that's done over here as well. So I think that's gives it a nice effect, and it really amplifies that sort of destroyed section. And next for the ground texture, I talked about this before, but I got the swamp tufts and the winter tufts. I like the light colored grass, so I'm going to use those. This also has some light, so that'll tie that together. So a few of those. Thought I'm going to put in some of this bushy material here because it's a nice color splash. And then this is some olive flocking. I'll probably use that around the edges to signify kind of the dead grass. This is a little bit of super turf, which I'll use as a moss. And then I have the fine leaf flake, which I'm going to actually sprinkle some into the swamp, kind of to signify duckweed, which tends to form in a lot of the swampy areas, and I have that in a few different colorations. So I might use this as a splash of color on the trees too, just as a moss, or perhaps this color here. So that's kind of what I'm going to use to do the groundwork. And then over here I'm going to put in some of the green grass, and I think I decided that I'm going to go with where was it that I was talking about? This blend here. I remember I had mentioned in a previous video about using some of the rock to kind of tie that in. It's a nice kind of greeny look, and I'll probably use some of the olive tones just to tone it down in patches. And yeah, so that's kind of the plan of action for tonight, guys. So hopefully you'll stay tuned, and I should get at least one more video up today. And if I'm not 100% done, I'll still put up some progress shots so you guys can follow along. So, oh, and I forgot to talk about one more product, the fine leaf litter here, which will be really nice to throw down in patches, especially kind of underneath the dead tree, and then underneath this it's a kind of like a detritus type stuff. It shows a collection of various bits and bobs, and maybe some of the wells would be a good collection point for some of this as well. So, and if I get really ambitious, I might splatter a little bit of this up on the bridge as kind of a wind blown and sort of some of the debris coming off the vehicles as well. So, alright guys, that's enough for the update video, and I will catch you in the next one. Cheers.